money.
This is Zip Squad, bitch.
Burberry scars, shrimp and Perry on. Living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports cars, silk massage, menage a trois. Yes, I've been a boss. Burberry scars, shrimp and Perry on. Living like a comet, moving amongst the stars. $100,000 sports cars, silk massage, menage a trois. Yes, I've been a boss. Sauntering.
Just so comment. Is it okay?
Oh, I just want to say I love the fact that I can actually sing to Burberry Scarves, and no one can hear me. So, and no one can hear me when that happens. I love it.
Isn't it great?
I love it. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another week of Top Rope Wrestling Talk, where we are the voices of the squared circle, and this is a wrestling show made by wrestling fans for wrestling fans. Joining me, as always, is none other than the First Lady of Top Rope Wrestling Talk. She is Miss Latina Heat herself, Grandma Wendy.
Oh, wait. Right. She's here. My bad. Other one.
Viva la raza! If you're not cheating, you're not trying. We lie, we cheat, we steal. We lie, we cheat, we steal. Mamacita.
And also joining me, because if he wasn't here, we wouldn't be live right now, is the producer himself. The jack of all trades, the master of none, Dom.
D-O. Ready? I'm ready. Let's fucking go. What's up, y'all?
And me, yes, me, it's not DDP, it's the high class one, the MJF Mark, and I forgot my scarf 2 weeks in a row. It's okay, though. It's okay, though.
Slipping.
It's okay. It's okay because of
homie.
it's okay because of our kick-ass MJF logo we have on the screen right now.
Right over there.
I am
there,
the pinnacle of Top Rope Wrestling Talk. Dom?
Bruce.
And you know it, I'm better than you.
Yes, I am.
and he knows it.
Yes, I do.
See?
Woo.
And yes, Anthony Titantron. Everybody go follow him too. We do get intro
Yes,
music.
we do
'cause
have
we're
our own
that-
intro music.
You know why? Because we're that damn good.
Yes,
Hell
we
yeah.
are. So let's just kick this hoe down. Let's just start this show off with a
Let's just
bang.
kick it off.
Let's just kick it off. Let's go
Kick
to
it off.
town. And we're gonna kick this week's episode off with a little bit of AEW action. For Grandma Wendy, we're going to start with her on this certain match that is now going to happen, which that is the legit Layla Hirsch versus the Brick House Camille.
So excited. Oh my god. And I'm excited because Layla Hirsch is fucking good. Like she can fucking go. And it's I mean it's not like she's like Camila's going up against somebody who's green or anything like that. Like this girl has some experience under her belt, you know? So I'm very excited to see this. The David and Goliath story, although this time, I'm sorry, David, you ain't winning nothing. Because they're not going to cut Camille's championship reign that short, that quick.
No.
Like, no. That shit
Right.
ain't happening. It's going to be a good ass match. And Camille, have you seen how amazing her body looks with the muscles and the
Oh
and
my
the
God.
I was about
What?
to say, I feel like I'm over here reading Wendy's mind
Yeah.
because we share a brain, and,
We do.
and something in my head just screamed,
Yes. Yup. Hundo P.
"Lady
son.
boner alert."
Fuck yeah. Oh my God. No, she's looking amazing. It's going to be a great match. I think it's going to be amazing. I cannot wait for it.
Dom, anything to add, or are you just going to stick with what Wendy said?
Oh my God, it's going to be incredible. Like Brian says here, legit fits Layla to a T. I love her. I love Camille. I love the fact that we had the NWA Women's Champion on Dynamite
Oh,
yet
man.
again.
When she held up that title, like, get it, shorty. You want this? You want this? I was like, yes.
It was
Right.
like it's
I
like
may be short, but fuck it.
It's like Hornswoggle trying to get the WWE title
Right.
from like
Yes.
Big
I
Show
will-
holding it
Yeah.
up.
I will add one more thing. Was it necessary for Camille to be wearing them high ass heels in the ring with Layla? That just
Hell the
felt
fuck
too-
yeah. Why
Yeah.
not? Why the
Because
fuck not?
Layla's like your size. She don't need them.
Doesn't matter. If she wants to wear them, she can do it.
I mean,
Because
she
she
looked good
is
in them.
Because she is the fucking champ. She can do what she wants.
True.
So-
Right,
True.
Leia?
It just felt a little disrespectful. I'm just saying.
Yeah, that's the point. That's the point.
That was
Let a
bitch
absolutely
know.
the point.
Let a bitch
see, that's
know.
what I was fishing for right there. I was waiting to hook one of you. Just gotcha. There we go.
You know, you guys know, and pretty much everyone else in Top Rope knows, I'm not a Layla Hirsch fan at all.
Fair.
But I don't know. The match that got her the match against Camille with the bunny, it was good. I think they could have used somebody else, but I enjoyed the match. The only thing I take away from Layla Hirsch being in this championship match is that AEW is trying to push a new face. And I can appreciate that they're trying to push a new face to the forefront of their women's division
Yes.
because Deeb is out with a knee injury.
Mm-hmm. That's true. That's true. And they're also trying to stir up that alphabet soup a little bit more and get
little
NWA
bit.
involved. And I appreciate that as well.
And speaking of an injury, I don't think Cody knows what day of the year it is. I think he's back in 1963 with Marty McFly. That's a great segue into the next topic in AEW, which is the very amazing ending of the show. We were getting this heartfelt moment by Cody saying he's done, and I was like, deep down inside, I was like, "No, Cody, no,
Don't
I was
do
like,
it.
bro, for
Don't
real?
do it."
Like, seriously?
He literally started tearing up, and I was like, "No, don't do it. You've got so much left." And he takes the boot off, and then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, he gets kicked square in the face again.
It was that
It was
moment.
hysterical.
That moment, y'all.
Malachi Black. I loved him in NXT, you know,
Mhm.
and this new version of him is almost like, hey, look what you guys could have had. This is
yeah.
how awesome I really am.
Yeah.
Let me be creative. And
Because
holy shit.
Because honestly, this is what they had started. He had started to kind of work on at the end of his WWE run with the vignettes and stuff.
Yep.
And it's like he took it and he just transferred it to AEW seamlessly and made his debut and all of that. I know he's not exactly the most angelic person, and obviously Cody was the one looking like Colonel Sanders in all white. But Malachi Black in this whole thing with the debut and headpiece and everything else was just a huge slice of like hardcore heaven. It was just
Oh my god. And Cody's promo was like just rambling like, oh, you know, and this, that, and family, and being here, and blah, blah, blah. And I was like,
Well, my daddy
Jesus,
got
Cody,
his title
seriously?
taken at Madison Square Garden in '95. I was like, where are we going with this?
I was
And
like,
by the way,
why-
thank you, Chris. We love the new logos too.
That right there, like, this didn't dawn on me, Wendy, when I was watching Dynamite until you just said this, and he was all rambling and here
was.
and there.
Mhm.
He was still selling Malachi Black throughout that
Yes.
whole interview.
absolutely.
He was still putting Malachi Black over through the
Yeah.
interview with how he gave it and how fucked up he seemed and he was.
Like,
And
look,
what-
he got kicked so hard, like
There were
his
so
brain was
many.
scrambled.
There were so many aspects to it, and every moment of it, from the beginning of the match to the interview to the way it ended, was just another way of putting Malachi Black over. The way he got dominated, for one, and then the way he was even speaking silly afterwards.
Oh yeah.
Mhm.
and then the way he was laid out again as he was trying to take his boot off, and by the end of the night, there's Malachi, boot in hand, foot on Cody Rhodes. The man put Black over 3 times in the same match.
Yeah.
And like that one span, that one little bit right there.
Yep.
Haters, shush, grown folk
Mhm.
talking. Okay.
I mean, yeah, grown folk is talking. Wendy, you had anything else you want to add to this before we segue into the next one?
Besides
go. I'm
Brian
good.
saying that Cody
Besides my
got kicked
tackles.
into the Stone Age, which
He
I
fucking
fully
did.
agree with.
He fucking did.
Yeah.
Or,
he
or
was-
Pepsi
he was-
Phil.
He was walking with Jesus, is what
Oh,
he was
Pepsi
doing.
Phil. Cody got kicked back to OVW.
Oh my god!
That's a
Yes.
good one. That is a
Oh
damn
my-
good one. That
That
might
is
be
a damn-
comment of the night so far. And of course, shout out to Alvaro, our adopted brother. We love you,
Hey,
bro.
bro.
So there was a actually it was in the it was actually in a promo on AEW, and it was the Elite, and I believe you have a picture, Dom.
I do, and I'm working on getting it up.
I understand. So in
Right
this
about
picture, there is a ton of Easter eggs on purpose.
Boom. Should
There
be
it is. Luke
Should.
Gallows. He has on a Ric Flair robe. Then you have
Right.
the Young Bucks sporting the Hawaiian gear, aka Bray Wyatt of the Wyatt family.
Mhm.
And then you've got Mr. Omega himself in a Cookie Monster shirt, which that stands for none other than
CM Punk.
CM Punk. Sorry, Wendy.
For those of you that don't know, the CM stands for Cookie Monster because that's what his aunt, I believe, used to call him.
That's what it's for?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yep.
I believe it was his aunt used to call him Cookie Monster when he was little. So when he became a wrestler, and he was into punk music, so CM Punk.
So with all of these Easter eggs, guys, I have come up with a what if question for you that I actually got from an article that I saw online. I mean, it was if I remember correctly, it was Eric Bischoff talking on his own podcast, and it was just quoted in the article. And
Oh.
basically, he was quoted in the article saying that Vince McMahon is feeding AEW talent. So now my point on it is I wouldn't put it past them. I really wouldn't, because you have this company like AEW that is so successful, and they needed a few key components, and if you stop and you actually think about WWE, when were they at their highest? When were they at their high point? During the Monday Night Wars. That was the
True.
highest point in WWE's long tenured life. So why wouldn't Vince feed AEW certain talents to get those numbers back and get the viewership back up?
Bless you.
I mean, I guess he could. I don't know if it would be the greatest idea in the whole world. And I'm not sure if Eric Bischoff is onto something or not. Like, I may even have a clip of Eric's last podcast here if I can play it real quick.
Would you guys consider jacking off to be a sport?
So I don't know how much stock you want to take in Eric Bischoff, but when you go back to last week and Brucey and I talking about the Vince McMahon quote of how AEW is certainly filling their roster with our talent and maybe he'll give them a few more, and then
And then right after
Bray
that,
is
Bray Wyatt
released.
was released.
Then Ric Flair Ric Flair has to be let out of his contract. I mean, it could be a grand scheme, and yes, Titantron Carl Anderson was wearing a Bollywood Boys shirt. Let's hope that one's not accurate. I don't know if I want to.
Why
say
the
that.
Bollywood Boys are actually a good tag team. They're underrated. They'd be a dark special. They'd be on dark.
That's
a lot.
I mean, we got enough people for dark. They just brought in Everrise for fuck's sake.
Wow, Mason. Mason said AEW gave them Pineapple Pete. I'd say they're even.
Right? Even trade. I don't know.
Basically,
I don't know if this is just WWE making business moves to look better on a spreadsheet, or if this is actually feeding them talent, because
it's
even where they stand, they're not, like Monday Night War is one thing. When you have a weekly war where one show is on here, one show is on there, unless all of a sudden Rampage decides to move up to 8 o'clock and we get a Friday Night War, I just don't see the logic behind Eric Bischoff's theory. I could be wrong, but if WWE is willing to let these guys go, why wouldn't AEW take a shot at it?
It's almost like it's a little bit of both of what you said, Dom, and it's a little bit of what you said, and it's a little bit of the what if. Like, they're letting these talents go for a spreadsheet, but also the talents that they're letting go helps AEW. So in a way, Vince kind of is feeding AEW, but he's also making everything look good on a spreadsheet.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Because, I mean, there are people out there that believe that, WWE is doing this because they're looking at this as a business, where if they can, part with some talent that hasn't really worked out for them, make some money, look better on a quarterly report, get their stocks up, then things are good. And that's one aspect. The other aspect of the wrestling business is actually having wrestlers. I don't know if anybody knew that.
Just a suggestion.
There are a lot of other promotions out there,
It helps.
a lot of other promotions making money right now, and a lot of those other promotions are not letting talent go left, right, and center.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not like AEW is the only one benefiting from WWE's releases. There was something, might have been a few weeks ago, saying at the time WWE had let go of close to 100 wrestlers. AEW had signed 10 of them. Impact had signed 14. WWE had signed 11 former Impact stars. So are we now saying that like Impact is, trying to send talent WWE's way? Probably not.
Yeah, but that it's not the same. It's not. It's not the same.
Is it not the same because of the weight that the promotion's name carries?
That's correct.
Okay.
That's correct. It's not. It's not the same
Because
WWE takes talent from everybody.
That's true. That's true.
Everybody.
There have been, in the meantime, while they're letting people go, there are all these reports that WWE wants to work with New Japan and with MLW and all that, and it never seems to come to fruition.
They're rumors.
But that's what I'm saying. And the last time the WWE actually worked with anybody, Brian mentioned ECW, where they brought the talent in for Monday Night Raw, and then they had Jerry and a few other people go over to ECW and start a feud with Tommy Dreamer. He almost lost a ball over that one. Like that, it was bad. But it's probably the last time that they've really worked with another major promotion, and they were willing to kind of pipeline some talent in, bring it back, that sort of thing. But usually when WWE does that, they expect something in return.
Yeah, it's all quid pro quo with them.
Yeah. So I don't think they
Scratch
would
my
just
balls, I scratch yours.
pump talent into AEW, especially when you look at the programming. And the programming
yeah.
itself has been
Pretty
absolutely
solid.
the same from the beginning of whatever. Like, you hear all these people that say, oh, well, blank is going to make WWE step up, like AEW coming around, or so-and-so signing, or this and the other. And have they?
No, because
Unfortunately, no.
they're actually not challenging them because they're on Wednesday night.
That's the thing when you look at ratings right now, you see Raw hitting like 1.7, 1.8, AEW is floating around 1.1. If they start bringing in these people that are rumored to show up, those numbers could get close pretty quick.
Mm-hmm.
Because, I mean, Daniel Bryan just main evented WrestleMania. You mean to tell me people aren't going to tune in to watch Daniel Bryan?
More than one.
Or Bryan Danielson, or whatever, he wants to call himself after the fact. People talk about CM Punk to this day. If he shows up, especially in Chicago.
What?
The Titantron just wow.
Seriously. They just
Bobby Fish, Mercedes Martinez, Bronson Reed released.
Bronson Reed?
What?
He was getting ready to go up to the main roster.
I thought he was too. I thought he was headed for like at least the NXT title at some point. Like, not right now, but I thought like Joe takes out Cross, Reed takes out Joe. Joe becomes, a here and there kind of wrestler. But Bobby Fish wasn't he just on NXT yesterday? Like, he just had a match.
Titantron just said they're clearing house in NXT. Well,
wow.
That'll have to be a special this weekend.
What the fuck indeed, Pepsi Phil. What
Yes.
that's the joys of going live. You get these kind of breaking news. And honestly, Brian, I don't know. That was not exactly on the rundown, but we've all talked about NXT in the past, and what are they? And when you see the way Karrion Kross is being treated with the NXT title on him, when you see the way call-ups are treated,
Jake Atlas and Leon Ruff.
what? Also, one of the Diamond Mine guys, Jake Atlas and Leon Ruff. Jesus, are they just gonna? Wow. No, I don't want to say that. I was gonna say, are they just doing away with NXT altogether?
I tell you what, this is a
Apparently.
great segue, guys. This is a great segue into our next topic. Speaking of NXT,
Nicely done.
of NXT, the headlined contract expiration
No. Go.
of Adam Cole. So there's been word on the streets that Adam Cole has turned down numerous offers from WWE, and then new.
Well, he was willing to extend his contract. Actually ran out, and he extended it through July, and then he decided he was going to extend it to, I think, SummerSlam weekend for Takeover. And now we've got this. And once Takeover is done, Adam Cole could be done.
Hi,
Kristen.
And just today, another article came out saying that AEW has offered Adam Cole a contract because his contract is out. It's expired. So I guess I'm going to make this a keep it or kill it. Fuck it. I'll make it a keep it or kill it.
Let me find the sentence. Hold up. I got it. Go ahead.
Keep it or kill it. We will see Adam Cole in AEW. Wendy?
Keep it.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
He's going to follow his girlfriend.
Hell yeah. It works both ways.
But why does he have to follow his girlfriend, Wendy?
Thank you. That's what I'm saying.
But you just
Why couldn't he just fuck off the Impact and do his own fucking thing?
Yeah, he could. He could
probably
still take Kenny's
will.
title there. Maybe the Impact, but he could still take Kenny's title.
Keep it or kill it, Dom.
After the news that we just got breaking right here live on TRWT of Fox Den, John, Cheap Pop. How can you not say keep it?
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
I mean, what future do you see for Adam Cole on a main roster?
None. Oh my god.
If Keith Lee couldn't make it, and Keith Lee is like the closest thing to a
Amazing.
Vince McMahon guy, if Karrion Kross is getting jobbed out while holding the NXT title, and Karrion Kross, when you look at him, is a Vince McMahon guy, what possibilities does Adam Cole have on Raw or SmackDown? You know what he has? Same thing as Finn Balor. We'll use you as a pawn to get to what we really want.
Mhm.
He'll win his
Finn
title. and
Balor's
he'll
too
get
good for
injured
that.
and never
Adam
get
Cole's
another
too
shot.
good for that. So yeah, keep it. I hope he ends up in AEW. I can't figure out if I want him to actually. Well, either AEW or Impact would be cool too, because now they got Jay White and the Bullet Club and those guys showing up. Maybe he could turn and join with them. That would be kind of dope too. But AEW is probably the best landing spot.
And we're gonna make that a trifecta, Dom. I'm keeping that shit.
Oh, that's hot. That's hot.
Oh,
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, it is
Children of all ages?
time for our main event. Time for the main event.
Fish getting harpooned, her star kiss while her mouth on my parsley.
I love this computer. Sorry.
Yes. This main event, the
That's our
way
main
back
event?
when review.
For the first time ever.
Yes.
Ever.
For the first time ever on Top Rope Wrestling Talk,
Ever.
the way
Ever.
back when review.
Ever.
Ever. and this
As you
month,
can see, we're excited.
This month, I won the wheel spin. It was a 50-50 shot. And
I still lost.
Wendy.
Sorry.
It's okay. We actually went way back to the pretty much the beginning of the Wrestling Revolution, which is episode 1 of Monday Night Raw.
I guess you could put it that way.
Where we're going.
It was kind of the
It really
it was kind of
was.
the it was kind of the end of the hokey era of wrestling, pre-attitude. You know,
Mhm.
Yeah. So this show it kicks off with Bobby Heenan, and why
Died.
I
He
Died.
is genius.
Well,
He's comedy brilliance.
hold on,
I
let him
for
land the plane.
for some
No.
reason I thought Todd Pettengill was the one opening that show.
Oh, that me too.
And then
Me
the other-
Oh man, it was Sean Mooney.
And then Mooney showed up, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
I saw it and I was like,
Sean
oh my
Mooney, I
god,
love that
Todd.
guy.
And then it was not. And I was like, oh, not Todd.
That is
What
exactly
are
not
you
what
talking
Todd.
about? Sean Mooney
Not
is a
Todd.
legend.
I know, but I love Todd.
Yeah, Todd Pettengill.
I love
was
Sean.
great.
I had a crush on him when I was a kid.
Oh no,
But
this
So
might
Todd,
not
if
be
you're
the
listening
only.
to this, I love you.
Spoiler
Right.
alert, guys! If you're watching at home, this might not be the only crush she had. So
Oh no, I
so let's just talk about the Bobby Heenan because it plays out throughout the entire episode.
Oh,
And
yeah.
it's friggin'
hilariously.
amazing.
hysterical.
It's so hilarious. So he
It is.
shows up and he
Mhm.
can't get in the building.
Right.
Then they go, they show some of Raw, and they show some matches, and they go back outside to who I wished was Todd Pettengill. and,
over
and
it.
there's this angry old lady trying to get in to see her nephew,
Tried to see her nephew. She's like, I need to see my nephew. My nephew's in there.
and it was her nephew was the guy, the
Rob Bartlett.
comedian, Rob
Rob
Bartlett.
Bartlett.
He
That,
only
that
he
piece of
only
crap
lasted
they
in that
put on
one
the table
episode.
without
You mean the
Bobby.
not
in the
comedian?
building. He was on the first few episodes of Raw, by the way.
He was also on the
It was
Don
the first
Imus show.
Yeah.
Yes, he was a disc jockey at WFAN, and he was like Imus's favorite DJ, which says everything you need to know about the motherfucker.
Mhm.
So
Like there, but Bobby Heenan in drag, I fell on the fucking floor because I forgot about that
I
moment.
died when I saw that. Oh
Fucking
my
died.
god. This is my ghost talking to you right now. That
My-
shit was hysterical.
The spirit of the psycho is running this show right now
Right?
and streaming to you live, and oh my fucking like Bobby Heenan. at least for wrestling, obviously he's a great manager. Obviously he's a great commentator. Comedic fucking genius.
Yes.
Do you guys realize the balls it actually took for him to dress in drag on national television at
In
that
'93?
at that era?
At that time.
At that time? That took some balls.
Especially for someone who was and is such a legend in wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
It was definitely very gutsy of him.
That was another amazing quality of Bobby Heenan, was the man had no shame. He would beg and plead people to stay with him on his hands and knees in the middle of a ring at a live pay-per-view. He would dress in drag. He would do whatever he could to get his character, get his group over, get a segment over, make somebody laugh. And it's what made him so great in the first place.
He did what he had to do to make it.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
Dare
and he wasn't faking nothing.
Dare I say he had a brain for the industry?
Good
Fuck outta here.
So keeping it with the opening of Monday Night Raw, and actually through a good portion of the beginning of Monday Night Raw, I'm throwing this out there to you guys. Macho Man Randy Savage and Vince McMahon are one of the most underrated commentary teams ever.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree with you on that.
I was never
really
a
good
huge
together.
fan of Vince at the table, but he and Macho Man together actually worked pretty well. They were definitely better than Rob Bartlett.
I laughed a little bit when they were talking about the Rumble, and Macho Man was like, and my favorite wrestler's going to be there, the Macho Man Randy Savage. I was like,
Yeah, dig it.
like, I don't know why that killed me. It was just so funny to me to be like, oh yeah, my favorite wrestler, me. But it wasn't like he said me. He like made it like he was talking about somebody else entirely, which is what made it so golden to me.
Yes, Mason. Heenan was a bump machine.
He really was. He was an underrated wrestler too. I know a lot of people forget that he actually, started in ring before management, kind of like Mr. Fuji. But he was a great wrestler too. He was definitely a bump machine, like Mason had said. And no, but I did like Randy at the table. I just felt like it was such a poor demotion for him because he was still so good in the ring.
Yeah.
But he was so natural
get
at it,
the
though.
Body back, or bring Bobby in, or something. Like, let Randy wrestle. I think it took like 3 episodes for him to get in the ring and actually have a match on Raw, and it ended up being against like the Repo Man because he took his hat.
Mm-hmm.
He repoed his hat.
Yeah,
he repoed his hat, and Randy came for revenge. That was a big story in '93, y'all. That's how we built.
So, God damn it, Wendy, I want to hear your take on the very first match ever of Monday Night Raw, Koko Beware versus Yokozuna.
Koko versus Yoko.
I purposely
Let's go to the notes, shall we?
Because you were bragging so much about your notes before the show.
They're color coded. My
color-coded.
notes are color coded. Look at this. Look at this.
Yeah, mine are kind of sloppy,
pens.
but they're there.
Mine.
What did I write on mine? So on a personal note, when this came out, it was January 11th, 1993. I was 6 years old.
What?
I was like
13 years old.
I was gonna say I was like 13, maybe. Yeah, 13 January 13. Yeah.
Yeah, I was still an itty bitty. What did I say? Bobby Heenan interrupting the intro, hysterical. Oh, this was like the beginning. What is this music? I was so confused about. I made a note to look up who Rob Bartlett was and why was he on commentary.
Didn't he win like something or something?
I have no idea. I didn't look that part up.
It probably was like Vince trying to be edgy.
I have no clue.
Here we go. First match, Koko versus Yoko. Yoko was off to a very strong start with like a whole lot of like, it was very much like just 2 meaty men trying to knock each other down, but Yoko doing a lot better with that. And he really was an immovable force. Like, it was amazing seeing that. I asked, question, is this when Yoko was at his heaviest?
No.
Not yet.
No, I think
This
I think
was-
towards the end.
This was towards the beginning of Yoko's run in WWE.
Yeah,
Okay,
He was
okay.
actually,
That's what I was
he
trying to remember,
actually,
but I
like,
couldn't remember too well.
He was just over 500 pounds, where towards the end they were billing him at well over 6.
Yeah, okay. And then at the end, Yoko made quick work of Coco. Low-key, it felt like a low-key squash match, but it wasn't obvious. You know what I mean? It was just kind of like, you know, we're trying to put him over, but we're not going to be like super obvious. Like, make it look like you put in some effort, Coco. Like, make it look like you tried. You don't just lay down. So
Yeah.
I thought it was an overall, for what it was a good squash match. It wasn't like it is nowadays where big guy just throws little guy, puts his foot on him, 1, 2, 3 pin. You know, like those. I fucking hate those. It was a good
Right.
squash match.
Good. Dom, what do you got?
No, I thoroughly enjoyed this match. I totally forgot this was the first match ever, because I haven't seen this Raw in quite a while. And Wendy's right. I mean, it was a good squash match. Like, Coco got some of his moves in, but they did no effect. Like, he must have hit him with 2 or 3 drop kicks, and Yokozuna is just going like this.
But it really sold Yoko as this
It did.
solid
made
force
him
to
look-
fuck with. Yeah.
It made him look
very
like
strong.
a beast. I mean, I
Yeah,
think that's one
absolutely.
of the reasons that Coco is a Hall of Famer. And speaking of Rob Bartlett, I have some gems written down from some of these matches. And right at the very beginning of Yoko versus Coco, Rob utters the phrase and I quote. So don't get mad at me.
All
on the
quotes.
messenger.
All quotes.
And I quote from Rob Bartlett. That's one big butted Oriental, Vince.
Yes.
Yeah,
my
I was like-
God.
Really, Rob? Even in '93, that shit didn't really fly.
Like, ooh.
93.
So even in '93, homie, I know Brian is sitting here saying that he was 9. I thought he said the match was a 9. Overall, I'd probably give the match like a B+ for a grade. It was that Yoko looked amazing. Coco definitely helped him look amazing. It was. I gave it a B+ mostly for the comments and that sort of thing. But yeah, I enjoyed the hell out of it.
Yeah, agreed.
So the something that I thoroughly enjoyed the match.
I don't think he
No,
did.
I
Mason.
don't think he did.
I don't think
He
he ever
might have
did. He had a
been
lot of
earlier,
pay-per-view
yeah.
matches, but I don't think he ever won one.
Yeah.
At that age, at 13, I was still pretty naive to wrestling, and I never realized how good Yokozuna actually was in a ring.
Yes. I
didn't
agree. I was amazed.
because I was 13 years old and I was in that, oh my God, this giant Japanese man's destroying these Americans, because
Right.
that's how it was back then.
For starters, he actually made you believe he was Japanese, or
I-
forget
Yes.
the fact
I did not,
that
I did not, to the day he passed away, I did not know he wasn't Japanese until he passed away.
I didn't
That's when
know.
found out
I
he
didn't
was
know
Samoan.
until that special that WWE put out, and I was like,
it took
What?
me till my late 20s, maybe 30s, to realize that he was part of the Samoan family, like the first family of Samoan wrestling, and I was like,
mhm.
wow.
Dude was good.
Yeah. For
He was
a
damn
man
good.
that size, yeah, he could fucking roll, man. I was like, holy shit.
Absolutely.
Google says 3.
Google says 3. Okay.
Thank you, Google.
What?
Thank you, Google. Thank you, Mason. Apparently, Coco Beware won 3 whole pay-per-view matches. He must
3
have had
whole ass pay-per-view
he
matches.
had a lot, but he won 3. I don't remember any of them, to be honest with you guys. I'm gonna be real.
So,
Bonsai!
Oh, I made one personal comment that I made during the match was questionable camera angles. When Yoko was doing that like squat stretch thing,
yeah,
and
I
the
didn't
camera's
wanna
like
see
in his
balls my
asshole,
face.
I
Like
was
up
like,
his ass cheeks, yeah.
it's like, no.
Yeah, I think that was the moment that led to the Bartlett fail.
Yeah. I was like,
You're gonna
oof,
hear a
you
lot
guys.
of that, folks. You're gonna get a lot of that, folks.
Lots.
So after the Yokozuna match, we get the amazing little cut breaks to 1993 Royal Rumble is coming, and it's so they don't do that no more. Like I actually enjoyed seeing that stuff. I love seeing. I mean, granted, they don't have another Mean Gene. There'll never be another Mean Gene Okerlund. I loved it when they cut to the thing about the Royal Rumble, and he was naming off the names, and they cut to a promo, and then they'd come back, and he'd continue. I don't know. I enjoyed that shit. I enjoyed knowing who was going to be in the Royal Rumble, except for a couple.
Oh yeah,
You know? I mean, now they're like, oh, okay, this guy's in, this person's in, that person's in, maybe.
And then they
not,
give you the cookie cutter explanation of the Royal Rumble, like over and over and over again for 4 weeks leading into the Rumble, like 30 superstars every 2 minutes. You throw them over the top rope, and both feet have to hit the floor. I'm like, motherfuck, I know.
I'm like, at this point, if you don't know how the Royal Rumble works, at this point. If you're the only way I'll excuse it is if you're 5 years old and this is your first Royal Rumble. Other than that, you should know by now.
Yes.
Facts. Facts.
Yes. So we, and then they cut to that. Then they had the Bobby Heenan and drag that we already, we spoke about that already.
Yes.
And then it comes back inside the building, and you've got that. I don't know even what to call him, sitting with Vince and Macho. Like, I'm not even gonna say his name because he doesn't need us saying his name because he's trash.
So let's just call him the trash can. The trash can was sitting there.
The trash can, and he. No, it wasn't now that. Yes, was it? When was it when he broke out in his stupid fucking?
The Mike Tyson thing?
Yes, and
later. That's later.
Okay.
Don't worry, I've got it all written down.
I do too. I just couldn't see it. So when they come back inside,
matters, Brucey.
Doesn't matter. No, it doesn't. Not the size of the bait. It's how you wiggle your worm.
Died. So fucking dead.
No, the next match that we get to see is the original Steiner brothers. When you get to see Scott Steiner without the tattoos, sporting the Michigan varsity jacket, with
the singlet, the mullet.
Oh.
The whole thing, the whole fucking thing.
And they faced the Executioners.
I was kind of annoyed when they were talking over Finkel when he's doing the introductions, and they're like, "Oh, the Steiner brothers, look at them!" And there's the trash can. Oh, which is which? I'm an asshole, and I suck dick.
Which is in the literally another Rob Bartlett quote here, folks. Which one's in the headgear, Rick or Scott? I have no fucking clue.
I don't know. You mean trash can?
You mean trash can?
Trash can? Yeah.
Like
I didn't know.
He had no clue. None.
All right, Dom,
probably really didn't.
I'm gonna kick this one over to you to start.
Okay. Well, I mean, the match itself, considering the Executioners and all, was actually pretty good. It was just it was a little weird that we had the Steiners versus the Executioners, and all of a sudden the clown shows up.
Yes,
here comes
just harassing people in the background.
Harassing people
kids and
in a sling. Like, maybe you shouldn't be harassing people when you're already in a sling, because somebody probably fucked you up for the same thing last week. It just wasn't on Raw because it didn't exist.
It was on that Saturday morning show.
But I did enjoy the match. It was obviously it was another one of those squash type situations, because we got the Steiners and then we got the Executioners, who are just basically faceless goons there to take a beating.
Literally.
And, I gave the match like a B- overall, because the Steiners were great. The Executioners were themselves. But I have a question for you guys.
Okay.
Was the Steiners, like, I don't know what to call it. Like what did I call it in my notes? I called it the Dog Day device, where the bulldog from the top rope, the double team finish.
Oh yeah.
Is the Dog Day device greater than the Doomsday device?
Well, here's the thing: you could die from the Doomsday device. It's not too hard to die from the dog device.
That's why it's called Doomsday device.
So I'm going with the Steiner brothers.
Okay.
I'm
just
gonna
like
concur.
I like the bulldog from the top. I don't know.
I love the bulldog from the top rope. We got a random Facebook user saying no, the Doomsday device is better, and honestly, both of them are iconic.
Yes,
It's just the way they're the way they're set up is almost exactly the same,
personal
except
preference,
one's
people.
a clothesline from the top, and the other one's a bulldog, and you're standing in the opposite direction. So I would probably lean towards the Dog Day myself. I just wanted to see what you guys would say. But I absolutely I did enjoy the match. I always enjoy seeing the original Steiners. The original Steiners might have been it. I don't even think it's debatable. One of the best tag teams in wrestling history.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
Like not Big Papa Pump. I'm talking original, like
original
Bruce said,
Scott, yeah.
varsity jackets, singlets,
Yeah.
mullets, pastel Steiners.
I even wrote that down. Steiners look solid. We're always a great tag team.
One thing that I noticed is Scott Steiner was worked stiff his entire career. He was a stiff bastard. in the
Don't
That
ring.
shit hurt.
Don't compare Rick and Dum Dum to the Warriors. Rick and Dum Dum were probably better wrestlers.
I don't know if I would call the professor of Steiner math Dum Dum. Like,
He actually literally does have a degree from Michigan. It's for real. It's legit.
exactly. What is his degree in?
Mathematics.
Oh, okay, yeah. All right.
That's why we got Steiner math.
That's where we got Steiner math.
Oh no,
from.
and I do agree with that. One of the best tag teams ever is Midnight Express, hence the Bobby Eaton tribute and everything else. We're just saying, we're not really talking about them because they weren't on the first Raw. But again, rest in peace, Bobby Eaton. That's pretty much all I got for this one.
Wendy, you got anything you want to add?
Oh, I also mentioned in my notes that they were very aggressive for faces. Like you said, they were very stiff and hard hitting. I was like, oof, my guys, that shit looked like it hurt.
But they were real executioners.
Oh man, and Steiner's suplex, that shit was clean. That shit was
always.
And that double underhook, fucking clean, clean shit. And Rob Bartlett, still not funny. Yep.
Still not funny.
Yeah, still not funny.
Never funny.
Never was.
So,
That's a good list right there, Brian. LOD, Harlem Heat, Steiners, Dudley Boys, Hart Foundation, and Demolition. My favorite tag teams.
Intro song. So yeah, that's what I had for it. So
okay, yeah, my thing was it's just the style, like how stiff they were, and Rick was very underrated as a wrestler.
Oh, highly.
So from here, I believe we cut back outside. Yes.
Yeah, I believe this was the Bobby and Drag.
This is where Bobby's in drag. Yep.
Yes.
Which I gave an absolute A+ to because of everything I said earlier.
I wrote down Bobby Heenan and drag. Excuse me while I die.
Right. Like, I'm dead. I died. I'm dead.
Yeah, this is my ghost.
Then the camera cuts back inside to good old VKM standing in the middle of
Vince
the ring. In the middle of the ring for the interview of the century. And I listen, guys, I totally fucking forgot that Razor Ramon even had a WWF title shot.
Yep.
Totally.
Oh no, I knew.
I forgot too. I won't lie. And he's my dad. He's my dad, and I forgot.
I was gonna say we were honored to see Wendy's dad on our first review. I don't know if Bruce set it up that way or
that's my dad.
If it was just circumstance, but like Daddy Ramon on the first review.
Yeah.
So I just want to say, like, this was not a good interview at all. It was horrible.
It was bad.
It was bad.
It was brutal. And then when they cut to the Owen Hart scene and Dad is still talking to Vince Jr., the audio was just so badly edited. And I'm like,
they left.
For the people who shit on AEW's editing, come watch this.
Yeah.
Come watch this first.
And
like,
we may realize
that first year is a little rough, you guys.
We may or may not find out that they haven't worked out all the bugs with that either. But
Yeah.
we'll save that. We'll put a pin in that. We'll
Put a
come
pin, circle back.
The one
it was-
thing, hold
oh,
on, real
go,
quick,
Griff. Sorry.
Don. The one thing that I want to point out in this whole entire interview was the toothpick throw at Vince McMahon.
Bro, I died. That shit was funny.
Did you see Vince's
Vince
look
looked
on
pissed,
his-
like, motherfucker. Like, how dare you?
Like-
I was
like-
like, damn, Dad.
Like
The balls.
Wendy, can you ask your dad how long you wanted out of that WWE contract so we could
Right?
so we could go and start the NWO? Because that toothpick throw
Damn.
immediately said like, fire me. I don't give a
That
fuck.
was rude as fuck. That shit
That-
was like, what you gonna do, son? Like,
That toothpick throw was the reason the 1-2-3 kid was invented.
yeah. Oh my God, 100%.
You're not wrong.
That happened
Because
on Raw.
Vince's face just
Yeah,
like
you're not wrong.
immediately changed.
He
It
went,
went from like
Mhm.
interview over to fuck
He
your
was like,
mom.
he went,
Yeah.
yeah.
You like watch yourself, kid. I may be interviewing you, but I'm still your fucking boss, and I still sign your fucking checks. All
I'm
right.
sorry. There's our adopted bro. Dad might throw a toothpick at Wendy's face.
Maybe I shouldn't be asking Dad these questions. I should hold off.
Maybe you shouldn't, but you know,
All
for
right,
the sake
Dom.
of argument. You want me to give? Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I kind of.
the leaving the audio from the clip in while interviewing Razor and having him talk at the same time was a bad look.
It was so rough.
I thought, you know, like, yeah, Razor conveyed what he needed to, you know, like, I've made it here in 8.5 months where it took you 8 years. So he was building himself up, trying to make people more interested in the match, make them think like, oh, maybe he's got a chance. He's right, you know, yada yada. But overall, it was a bad interview, and it wasn't really Razor's fault. It was more of
Production.
the production and just the timing of it all that kind of just made it fall flat.
Mhm.
I thought Razor did everything he could to try, you know, enough respect to Wendy's dad to say this. I think Razor tried as hard as he could to save that segment,
Oh God, yeah. Yeah.
including the toothpick throw.
Is it just me, or did he look like he was really coked out in that interview?
He
Oh,
might have
yeah.
been.
Let's be
Let's be
let's
real.
be totally
Okay.
honest.
I just want to
The
make sure it
show
wasn't me.
the show up
Dad
front
looked a
was,
little out of sorts, you know.
The show up front was sponsored by Ico Pro, which, if anybody knows, is not the greatest company. But on the low, it was also probably sponsored by cocaine at this point. So
Yeah.
You
Razor
might
might
cocaine.
have had a few lines, you know,
He might have had a
before
bump
the
or two.
segment. A few, a
Just a
smidge,
bump or two. Just
What
a
up,
little.
just a
Jofo?
couple bumps.
Jofo!
Just a couple bumps, you know. Jofo, Frank, what's happening? Good to see you. Welcome to the Raw Review, episode 1. But yeah, it went off the rails. And Lord knows Razor tries to save it, but at the same time, as I was explaining, Razor is high, so there's only so much he can do.
All right, Wendy. Let's hear you talk about your old man for a little bit.
Go
All
ahead,
right.
wax poetically about Daddy.
So here are my okay. So I actually
Don't
literally
listen,
put there.
Mama B.
Actually, literally put in my notes. That's my dad.
Holy shit!
That accent, Lord Jesus, what was it with that accent? I get that you're supposed to be
Horrible.
Cuban, B, but bro, you made Al Pacino look more Cuban, and he's fucking Italian. Like what
He
the
was-
fuck?
He was supposed to be Cuban or some kind of Spanish. We're not totally
No, he was
sure.
supposed to be Cuban.
was supposed to be
walking
Cuban.
around a little Havana in his freaking.
Oh, that's right.
in the
That's
the
right.
fucking
Promos.
shirt. Yes,
Yes.
yes.
I'm just
Yeah.
saying when you hear the accent, it's supposed to be Cuban or some kind of Spanish.
I was
It's
very
not.
miffed. I was very miffed at the audio editing, but I was like on my third view. I watched it 3 times.
Okay.
On my third viewing, I paid more attention to the interview, and I was like, "Bro, he's cheap shotting Bret Hart here and there." Like you said, what took you 8 years took me 8.5 months. I was like,
Yup.
"Oh!"
Right.
And then that toothpick, I was like, "Double oh!" Like, oh damn.
Shade.
And he really came in there like he really did up that heel shit, and like you know everybody's like boo, and he's like boo me, I skied on your face, I don't give a fuck.
Hence the
you know?
Razor name. Yes,
Exactly. Thus, Daddy.
I may or may not know what he's talking about, but yes. Hence the
Daddy Ramon was prepared. He was prepared.
he
you
was
know?
always prepared.
Mhm,
Yes,
mhm.
yes, he was.
So those
Here's
were my
another
notes.
here's a quick because I forgot it. I'm sorry, guys.
It's okay.
We'll
A little
forgive you this
tired
time.
tonight.
The show's going great. You're good.
Question
Yeah.
about Daddy here. I know he wasn't, but did Razor Ramon actually deserve a WWE title reign?
Ooh, maybe after the ladder match with Shawn Michaels, when he was at his
Maybe.
height and
Mhm,
he was at
mhm.
the peak. But then you also got to remember Big Daddy Cool came in as well.
That's true.
They were Big Daddy Cool was Big Daddy Cool, and Razor was not as big.
Not as big. He was somewhat Lil Razor. He was.
Mhm.
Don't get me wrong, Scott Hall's a big freaking dude, but he's
Oh
no.
yeah,
I mean, in the words of
But
Kevin
not as
Nash, when Big Daddy Cool showed up, the measuring stick changed.
oh yeah, definitely.
Safely enough. I struggle with it because I did love the character, but I don't think he deserved a title shot. Again, it was one of those things that I wrote down on my notes. Like, I want to know what these guys say.
I mean, I don't know if he deserved it, but
And
I
note
did.
from the chat. Okay.
I did appreciate though that they were able to that they used that as part of the story to be like, you worked for it. I'm just here, bro. Like I got here and boom, I'm here. Like, but did he deserve it though?
Maybe.
No, not
Possibly. Not really.
Really. Not
but
really.
maybe.
I want to say not really. I mean, it made
I don't want to
great.
be too mean. It's her dad. I don't
It
want
made for great storyline, but
I have
sorry,
some.
Dad.
I have some sort of heart and soul in this body. I can't be mean to her dad while she's looking at me.
Are you gonna say bad things about my papa? My papa?
No.
So, are we good?
We're good.
I don't want
We
to
can
cut
move
you
to the
guys off. You
No,
guys
we've
are
talked
on a- you
enough
guys are on a
enough. We've
friggin'
talked
roll.
enough about my dad. Let's move
You
on.
guys are on a friggin' roll. I didn't want to cut you off. Like I'm having so much fun hosting the show.
We've
like, I
talked
just
enough
didn't
about my
wanna cut
dad.
you
Let's
off.
move on.
So
Sorry, Dad.
I believe that ends
Yes.
this, and then we go to the Mean Gene, and he does all the whole spiel
Yes.
about the Royal Rumble,
Of
and then we
course.
come back outside to not Todd Pettengill again, and there's a Jewish
Sean
rabbi.
Mooney, damn it.
There's a Jewish rabbi trying to get inside Monday Night Raw.
No, that came after the third match.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah, the match came first.
I'm so sorry. So the match
Pause.
at hand.
Rewind.
Rewind that, Dom. Rewind
Let's
that.
get to the sign. Let me get to the
Rewind
sound.
that,
Hold up.
Dom.
Rewinding. Can't edit live shit, so rewinding.
All
Rosie.
right, so after the whole Razor interview, we get Mean Gene Okerlund talking about the Royal Rumble. We
Yes.
brought this up a little bit earlier. Then we kind of enjoyed those segments, and then it kicks in to a match that I want to hear my abuela Wendy talk about, and that is Max Moon versus none other than HBK.
This is like
For
genuinely
the Intercontinental
man-crushed.
title.
Yes,
Can I
for
just
the
say, I was legitimately surprised that they put the IC title up on this first night. And I don't know why, like, it's not something you would have expected,
No.
but it was like,
Back
I mean,
then-
now, today, maybe, but then it was like, wait, the IC title? Really? Like,
back then they were usually only defended on pay-per-views.
yeah, that's why I was like, really? We're doing
At
this
least
now?
leading into
Okay.
Raw. Yeah.
Yeah. I thought it was a good match. I mean, the character of Max Moon, the gimmick, I wish that could have been further developed by Conan as he wanted to do it. I wish we could have seen more of him, but WCW snatched him up, so you know how that went.
Not before
Overall,
ECW did.
overall, I thought it was a solid, clean match. I was surprised HBK had a clean match, to be honest, because no matter what, whether he was face or heel, he was not always the cleanest of wrestlers. Wink.
Mm-hmm.
But I thought it was a damn good match. And that IC title in that blue, beautiful. I want
Right.
one. Oh my God.
I would love, yeah.
I would wear it every day. I would put on like whatever
Absolutely.
dress and then just toss it on to work and be like, I'm here for the board of trustees meetings. Suckers, you know? I thought it was a good match.
I'd be rocking it at the grocery store. I'm not gonna lie. Just-
I'm pumping gas in my pajamas with my IC belt. Like, you want some suckers? I'll fuck you up. I know it's 8 a.m. I don't give a shit.
Whatever.
You want a title shot?
Right?
No, bitch, you want a match?
I stay
What,
ready.
bitch? What? Crazy homeless crackhead in DC? I'll fuck you up. No, I won't. Please walk away. I'm leaving now. I'm totally scared for my life. Yeah. I want to give this match an A. I thought it was a solid match. It was good.
Best
Everything
match
was
of the night.
fantastic. And every hit, everything. It was just a great match overall. Said on here, nice roll up by Max Moon, very close call. Actually, a good clean match. And Max Moon, highly underrated for a short-lived
man.
gimmick. Highly underrated.
Yes.
Overall, good match. I enjoyed it.
One thing I'm going to put down, Dom, before you talk about this, because I
Put it down.
99% agree with Wendy. How about Shawn Michaels winning the match with a suplex?
I had that in my notes.
I was like, that's
Like,
that's not.
He hit the sweet chin music.
He hit a
the
super
win.
kick.
He hit a super kick. It wasn't a full on.
Yeah, it wasn't sweet chin music yet.
No, not yet.
Not yet.
But he
not
did
yet.
hit the super kick, and then he went for that like gut wrench nut suplex, whatever
Uh-huh,
you call it, overhead nut suplex. You know,
You don't see that anymore.
no.
You
No.
do not see it anymore.
Well, it was basically kind of the beginnings of HBK at that point. If I recall the Raw correctly, he was going into an Intercontinental title defense against Marty Jannetty at Survivor Series.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, this was very
sensational.
new.
Sherry will be there, but we don't know in whose
We
corner.
didn't know
They kept
whose corner
reiterating
she
that.
would be in. Ooh, the drama.
I love that. I love that.
I think we all know who she picked.
Teardrop suplex. Thank you, Brian. I couldn't think of it on the spot, but yeah, I did have it in my notes that like, yeah, the super kick, the sweet chin music, whatever you want to call it, was not the finish. I definitely enjoyed the hell out of this match. It was probably my match of the night on the entire card.
Agreed.
Absolutely.
Agreed. Hundo P.
And of course, we had our Rob moment, which just this one was almost the worst. Like they skipped commercial, they come back, and Rob says, and again, guys, this ain't
All
me,
quotes.
I'm just a messenger. Rob says, and I quote, "You missed it during commercial. Sean pulled a knife."
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I was like, ew. Not funny, bro. Not
No.
funny.
Who the fuck thought this motherfucker was funny ever? Don Imus, number one. Vince McMahon, maybe two. End of list.
That's it. And even Vince sounded like he was like,
In my notes, you can tell Vince and Macho are getting tired of this dude's jokes.
I
oh
was
yeah,
just
you could
about to
definitely
say
tell.
that,
You
actually.
could hear it.
You could tell
You
Vince
could
at
hear
one
it in
point
their
was
voice.
like, "Why did I agree to this shit?"
Mhm.
Like,
You could hear it. You could hear them grunting and like, ugh, as he was saying this shit. And then we had another Doink the Clown appearance, and I'm thinking,
That
like, during this
annoyed
match,
me throughout the
like, this is
entire
such a
run.
great
bro, I thought
match.
it
Why
was
the
hysterical.
fuck?
Am I alone on
Why
that?
the fuck are we cutting away from a great match to get Doink the Clown in here? Like, what in the
I
shit
thought that
is
shit was
going on?
funny though. Doink just like haranguing the kids, like, "Fuck you, eat a
But-
dick."
If that shit happened in wrestling now, and there was a great match going on, and some asshole was out there, and a wrestler was out in the crowd taking away from a good match, you'd be mad.
I mean, true, fair. Okay, fair. I get it. Solid point. Solid
He's
point.
got you there.
You got me. You got me good. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah. I'll admit it. You got me good.
But yeah, overall, it was probably my match of the night. I gave the whole thing like a B plus, A minus, just for Rob and Doink and that sort of thing. But like the match itself was an A. Like it actually showed Max Moon, and he actually got more offense in than I remembered or thought he should.
yeah.
I thought that could have been a decently developed luchador kind of character
Definitely.
had they decided to
weren't
go
ready
that way.
for luchadors.
And apparently they were ready for the Orient Express, so there was that too. But overall, very good match. Enjoyed the hell out of it. Probably the best match on the card as far as back and forth. And it was even a point where you thought maybe Max Moon was going to win it. And
Oh yeah. Like who was
I
it?
asked the Grandma Wendy question. I was like, "Wait, did they swerve us?" Because again, it's been forever since I watched it. I was like 13, so
Because when he had that roll up, that was a very nice roll up that he did on Michael. The way he got him, and it was just so. It was like this, like oh, so
it was
fractionally
like
close.
2 and 999 1,000ths.
Yes,
shoulder
yes.
came out.
At the end of the whole show, though, I was like, "How was this not the main event?" Because
Right.
this was
Should've been the
USDA
main
grade A
event.
beef right here. This was
This is
Solid.
this might have been when
We all
Shawn
know
Michaels became
why
the
it was
showstopper.
the main event.
yeah.
Well, yeah, but
We
it
all know
might have
why.
been. At least it led towards that showstopper, nickname because
Yeah.
he really did at that point. It's like, shut this down, we're done.
If this Raw were to take place now, that would have been the main event match.
Oh yeah, Hundo P.
And then, of course, I did make a small note because they had some promos from Shawn and Marty after the match,
Oh,
and
what the fuck?
my thoughts on that was you could tell who was sticking around and who was leaving immediately after those promos. It's like, wow, Shawn, you killed it. Wow, Marty, what the fuck just happened there? Okay, we
Holy
know
shit,
who's
you were
we know who's
normal
sticking
once?
around at this point.
You were normal at one point?
Right? I was
Almost.
like, is this the last time he was coherent?
Maybe.
I think so. I
One
actually
of.
think he wins the Intercontinental title.
I don't remember. I honestly don't remember, bro.
You have
I
to
wish I
look it up.
did. I remember
think he
Yokozuna
actually
winning that
beat
Royal
Shawn.
Rumble, but I don't remember that actual match at the Rumble.
I don't know. So now, Wendy, the third match
Bruce.
is over,
Yes.
and we meet our favorite rabbi outside with not Todd Pettengill.
Sean Mooney.
Give me your takes on this.
I thought it was hysterical.
See, that's my take.
That's all
Fucking
of us.
Bobby Heenan, man.
Bobby Heenan's the
Bobby Heenan is so
Rest
funny.
in peace,
Dope.
Bobby Heenan. You were a gift from the wrestling gods. That's my
Yeah.
take.
When the show, like upon my third viewing, when the show ended, all I could think was, I miss Bobby Heenan so much because he
Sorry.
was so funny. Oh my God,
Yeah.
Pepsi Phil, shut the fuck
I don't
up.
know. I was gonna say I don't know what I'm laughing at harder, Bobby Heenan or Pepsi Phil's comment. After that match, Jannetty went to Reno to watch a man die.
Yes, he did. Oh my God.
Who was a fan of Doink the Clown, Chris? Like honestly,
I liked
Anyone?
The Clown. I did.
of course she did. Grandma Wendy did. That's who liked Doink the Clown.
I liked the creepy clown gimmick. It was great.
I was not a fan, and my wife hates clowns. So like it was, she had to leave the room for me to watch Raw because she didn't want to see Doink.
It was a
That's a
it
shoot,
was
though.
a
She fucking hates clowns.
oh no, Jannetty did not win.
No.
Michaels retained.
I didn't think so, but I couldn't
didn't-
remember.
Yeah.
Like something about
Um,
Jannetty winning that match just doesn't seem right.
So after we see
No,
Uncle-
Doink was a great wrestler. Like at least
Oh,
one
yeah.
of them at least one of them in the paint. But the gimmick was not very good.
I appreciate that it was like a wink and a nod to Gacy, which if you're a true crime fan, you legitimately understand.
Okay.
With the sharp angles and the makeup and the hauntingness, the creepiness, Overall, though, I mean, he was a good wrestler. I enjoyed some of his matches.
Dink and Doink. Anybody remember those?
Yes,
Little clown, big clown.
the little one. Yeah, didn't he have like a whole set of them?
He had a whole
Yes,
set, and they
'cause
fought a
he-
whole set of kings at Survivor
Yeah, it was
Series.
like a whole
You
set of.
remember that?
Fuck! I hate that I remember that.
right?
As soon as I saw Dink, that's what I pictured. Like the kings,
Oh my
the
god!
king and his
Yes,
midgets versus
all of
Doink and his
the-
dinks.
and his little peoples.
So I don't know which interview I hated more, because once we come back from Uncle Jewish Bobby Heenan trying to get inside Raw outside, we come back to
Rabbi Heenan.
Rabbi Heenan. We come
Rabbi
back
Heenowitz.
inside to a Vince McMahon standing next to the ring talking to a Doink the Clown.
Mm.
Now, Dom,
And you know my take on that. So yes, it's been a crazy night, WrestleBread. Shout out to JD or JC. Sorry, fellow Philadelphian. Love your show. Thank you for showing up.
So you mentioned the arm in a sling and all of that. That was actually not his. And if you actually watch him walk, it's not his arm, because in the storyline that with Crush, because Crush comes out with this horrible Hawaiian accent.
Oh, that accent.
Horrible Hawaiian. Brah. Every
You know
time-
something, brah? What is brah?
What are you
There's
going,
an
bro?
L at the end of that shit. I don't know what the fuck he was talking about or how he was trying to talk, but Jesus God. Like,
What was
poor
worse?
Crush.
What was worse? My dad's Cuban accent or Crush's Hawaiian?
Crush?
Hands down.
It was so
I was in
weird.
stereo.
No, and it was so weird to see him go from Demolition, where he was like 50 Shades of Grey, you know, leather,
Yes.
chains, mat, like gimp mask, the whole nine, to pastels, frosted tips, and brah.
I was like, ew.
But that arm he actually used to attack Crush and hit him, because it's supposed to be like a lead-filled fake arm, and
Yes.
I actually think it was on Superstars that he hit him from behind with it and took him out and put Crush out of action, and that fueled their feud going into a pay-per-view and in your house or something.
It went into WrestleMania 9, I think it
Is that
was,
what
at
it was?
Caesar's Palace. Yeah,
Mhm,
where there was the two doinks.
mhm.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Is it?
I remember
also,
because that's my favorite WrestleMania.
Is
even
it
though
also
it's trash.
sad? Is it also sad that I totally skipped this and didn't take any notes whatsoever because I was so disgusted by the whole interview? I was just like,
Oh, I didn't take any notes
didn't
either. I was
take
just like,
any
this is
notes.
awful.
I just remembered it, and I knew if I didn't go in order of what happened on the show, Grandma Wendy would probably beat me, because I put Rabbi Heenan ahead of where he was supposed to be, and she got mad.
We don't do that here.
No, we don't.
bad accent, even worse finisher. Absolutely. That is 100% accurate.
Yeah, that's what it was at that
Even Brian
WrestleMania
says
9.
the heart punch was stupid.
At WrestleMania 9. So they hit Doink hits the ref. The second Doink comes out to interfere and hits him with a prosthetic arm. So then the
Okay.
first Doink wins when the referee comes back around.
Yep.
I've
Yep.
seen that WrestleMania
Oh
too
God,
many times.
Brian, you didn't. You really didn't. Wait. Oh, hey, Devin.
What up, Devin?
I'm armed and I'm dangerous. Ah! Ah! Ayo! What's happening, Devin? What's going on, man?
So now that we've talked about,
So nice to see the Queen of
second-
Philly and Devin and all these people up in the chat. I appreciate it. Can we move on to something like much better, please?
Yes,
Yes.
I am heading in that direction, because we are heading to the closing match of the very first episode of Monday Night Raw, and that was none other.
Wait a minute. Are we skipping Kamala?
That was a
That was just mentioned.
that was
They
a
just mentioned it.
flashback.
They just mentioned that he saw
But
the
if-
light because
but
of
Bruce-
Reverend Slick.
But Bruce,
Okay,
if we bring
okay.
it up, we can talk about Kim Chi in back-to-back weeks. This will never happen again.
I made a note to myself here. Remind me who Reverend Slick was again.
He was
Reverend
a
Slick
manager.
was a manager who ended up with the Twin Towers, the Big Boss Man, and Akeem the Dream.
Yes.
Okay.
He was
One-man
actually- he came
gang.
with
I
a-
remember
he was-
Hakeem the Dream.
Who rocked the daishiki and everything, and
Yeah,
and
yeah,
did
yeah.
the
I remember.
dances,
Very,
like,
It's hard to forget
he
Hakeem
was
the
their
Dream.
manager,
Correct.
but prior to that, he was the one trying. He was he was the member. He was the leader of a church, and he was trying to
Oh,
get
he's
Kamala
Reverend.
to understand that Kamala was not just a wild animal or
He's trying to make
something
him
to be
human
kept,
out.
that he was a man. And Kimchi and I believe it was Harvey Whippleman were trying to convince him that, like, no, he doesn't know what he's talking about, yada yada. And eventually Kamala drops Kimchi, drops Harvey, and walks away with Slick, and the crowd goes wild.
Okay.
Now, on to where I was going, because
Yes.
I guess Kamala had to make a guest appearance on this.
Surprise.
Surprise!
90s vibes. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of that.
We get to see the Phenom,
Yes.
the Undertaker, with Paul Bearer in all his glory when the urn.
Oh, yes.
When the urn.
My Undertaker!
When the urn actually meant something.
When it had mystic powers.
When it had mystical power.
'Cause this is like-
Didn't he wrestle? I forgot.
We're talking just into year 2 of Taker at this point.
Yes.
Who did he wrestle on Raw?
Oh,
Damien
I wrote it down. Damien
Demento.
Demento.
I think that was one of the first.
Who
and
I
only
looked up,
times-
and apparently dude went nowhere after this.
No.
Oh yeah, I can see that.
He was a total Vince guy, because when you looked at him, he had the body, he had the weird, goofy, look.
He had the
gimmick.
shit. He had all of it. Yeah.
He had all the shit that Vince looked for, except, maybe talent.
A
It's-
career.
That too.
It's so funny to see how much I actually forgot that I had saw. Like, I knew when he did Old School, because that's what it was called at the end of his career. Like, I knew he had done it for a very long time, but it's one of those things that, like, I forgot. I forgot he actually did it, like, his entire career.
Really?
Mhm.
He did. Yeah.
How could you forget that?
It's
Brucey.
one of those things.
Bruce.
It's Bruce.
Listen, I'm not like Dom. I'm not an obsessed Undertaker fan that wants him to wrestle until he's 800 years old. I'm just
Hondo
not.
clean.
I'm a fan, but
Elder abuse.
yeah. All right, Dom.
All right.
Give us your intake on
Man.
how you felt about this match with Damien Demento.
Obviously, Damien Demento did not do that much, but it was so nice to see, like, the original Taker. It was so nice to see that, like, Michael Myers inspired work routine where he would come at you like he was going to choke you, and you would hit him, or you would do something and he would flinch and come at you again, or he would drop and then he would sit back up. Like, this was, I'm a huge fan of the Halloween movies to begin with, and no matter what you did to Michael Myers, eventually
He always
he would
kept
sit
coming
up,
back.
or he would keep coming after you, or he would do whatever. So when Taker did it, immediately I became a fan. I was like, I see what you're doing here, and I fucking love it. Keep doing it. So it was nice to go back and get a dose of that again for the first time in a long time. It was nice to see Paul and the urn and all the original Taker stuff that just felt so groundbreaking at the time. I mean, I know by the time you get into the 21st century and towards the end of Paul's run that, like you're pretty much over it. But back then, I could feel my inner child just kind of jumping up and down and going, "Oh my God, it's Paul! Oh my God, it's here! Oh my God!" I'm sitting there like, "Yes, my Undertaker!"
That's why I went to him
While I'm
first.
watching the match, it was unbelievable. Like, especially all these years later, to sit there and mark out almost as badly as I did the first time I watched.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed the living hell out of that. And the only part I didn't enjoy was, again, the Rob Bartlett fail. Where the Undertaker is coming out and he's doing his original entrance. He's got the hat on, he's got the hair over his face. He's
that.
skulking his way up the ring steps, and in the middle of it, here's Rob in this bad Jewish accent.
Trash can.
And again, y'all, I'm quoting, so please, I'm the messenger. Don't shoot me. And he goes in this bad Jewish accent. He goes, "Oh, cut your hair, get it out of your face. You look horrible with your hair with your
he's
hair
like,
in your face.
you
It's
look
so
prettier.
You look prettier with your hair out your face." I'm
Yeah.
like, Jesus fucking Christ!
I was like, ah.
Like, can we please have the Undertaker bury him after this match? Because I am
Right?
so fucking sick of this dude.
Just
I don't
end
even think
him.
we brought up the Mike Tyson impersonation.
I don't.
Ugh. He
Half the
was
show.
by far the worst
show.
part
The
of
worst.
Monday Night Raw. Like, not Doink, not any of that. Look, This motherfucker right here was the worst part. Undertaker was one of the best, so I played it off. I enjoyed the hell out of it. I'm looking down my notes here, and I'm just saying to myself, I'm on the wrong page. Number one,
You don't even know what
Get your
page
shit
you're on.
together, man.
I know. Unprepared psycho. I apologize.
Shame.
But
Shame.
but Taker is as good as I remembered him being, and that was a big deal for me because sometimes when you're that young and you're that enamored, you think like maybe it wasn't, but when you watch it again, you're like, oh yeah, there is a reason why I immediately gravitated towards this dude, and that's it. And that's it for me.
Wendy?
I think what impressed me the most was how tiny they made the ring look. Because when Michaels and Moon were wrestling, it looked like a normal sized ring. And then here comes Demento and Taker, and they make it look like a child's bed.
Like,
I was like,
he's big.
did they? Yeah. I'm like,
Somehow
did they
the
replace
ring-
the ring during commercials? Like,
You're not wrong. Somehow the ring looked bigger with Yokozuna in it.
yeah, no, and they made it look like it was
Camera.
like a quarter. It was so tiny. Like, how did that happen? I mean, it was. But as far as being a match, I want to say it wasn't the best. It wasn't the best match of the night. It was just okay, like
No,
B work.
it
Maybe.
definitely wasn't. Like
No.
HBK was definitely match of the night.
That was- yeah,
HBK
definitely,
and
yeah.
Max Moon was definitely
Mhm.
match of the night.
Yeah.
But Taker was everything that you remembered him to be.
Oh yeah,
So you guys pretty much said everything that I wanted to say. The only thing you didn't say that I wanted to say, did you guys notice that Taker only had one tattoo around his wrist and forearm, and that's all he had?
Yeah,
no, I
when he
didn't
came
notice
in-
that. I'm gonna have to rewatch
When
it.
he came in, that was one of the very few
No
things that he
tattoos.
had.
Huh?
And as
That's funny.
he progressed, he got more and more. But when he came in, he had like one, maybe two, maybe.
Huh.
I only
Huh.
saw one.
I'm gonna have
So
to rewatch that.
before
Hey,
we,
Felipe.
Hey, Pipe.
Sorry.
before we segue into the very last segment of this show that has been so amazing,
Mhm.
we've got to end Monday Night Raw with the best part ever. Bobby Heenan
Bobby gets
being let into Monday Night Raw.
As the
after
show
the
goes
show
on the
Finally.
air.
over.
Finally.
It's over. It's like, where
It's
were you
so
the
funny.
whole time? We've had to deal with this Rob Bartlett piece of shit.
I love when he was going back a little bit to when he was dressed as the rabbi, when he was like, there has to be a way in. There has to be a way in. The roof. I'm going to get in through the roof.
no.
Like,
Like, how the hell are you going to get to the roof, Bobby? Could you just picture Bobby in like the beard trying to climb the side of the building?
trying to climb the emergency stairs.
Either that, or you know what would have been classic? You know what would have been classic? Put Bobby Heenan in a Batman costume, and you see him firing a grappling
Oh
hook,
my
and
God,
it doesn't hit
that
the
would be
roof,
so
so
Bobby.
he's
So
reloading
Bobby.
and firing it again.
So him. Oh my God.
So, since we're on the topic of Monday Night Raw and we talked about episode 1, we have this one last segment that we started doing last week that we're going to do again this week. It's supposed to be
Yeah.
a monthly segment, but guess what? It earned its way on the show twice this
If
month.
we can find something, it's worth doing. It doesn't have to be it doesn't have to be once a month.
So,
Excuse me.
from the very first Raw to the
Right.
very last Raw that was aired, Dom, show the clip.
Oh my God. Yeah. Like, let me just preface it by saying, if you watch this first episode of Raw, you hear a lot that Raw is uncut and uncensored. And when you saw the clip during the Razor
really
intro,
was.
you might have thought so. You remember how we put that pin in it from the Razor interview with the audio?
Here we are.
Let's go
circling
to the
back.
video, shall we?
Strong emotions going into the ring tonight. And strong emotions going into the ring tonight.
What the fuck just happened there?
16! What the fuck?
What in the holy mother of phenomenal fucks just happened in that clip? ladies and
Hey,
gentlemen?
production trailer. You wanna fill us in on how you fucked that one up?
That is a small clip from last Monday's Raw in Devin's hometown of Chicago. And obviously, Chicago was saying some shit during Drew's interview, during
Oh,
Drew's
you know it.
introduction that WWE didn't like. So they tried to
Control the narrative.
Yeah, isn't that weird?
Good
I
choice of
feel like
words.
somebody's done that before. And obviously they failed pretty badly because one, when was the last time Michael Cole was at the table on Raw? And
years ago.
two, when did Drew win 16 fucking championships?
Never.
Did I go into it? This is the following week, right? Like I know Brucey and I were on last week and we were looking for Wendy and now we're all back. Like I didn't go into a coma for like a year and Drew won more titles, right? Like I don't remember.
Nope.
No, this
Pretty sure does not.
I'm pretty sure he's got what, 2 now? 2 reigns as WWE title? Where'd the other 14 come from? Like motherfucker, he's tied with Cena and Flair? Since when?
piss poor. Piss
Terrible.
poor.
And that's being very kind and gentle, Brucey.
It is. It is.
I think
I'm in a good mood tonight.
the hardest pill for me to swallow here is we've waited to be able to get fans back into a show. The people of Chicago waited and waited to get a chance to go back to a show, and you will have more, by the way, because there's a lot coming in Chicago, just not with WWE. But these people waited. They packed this place. They were actually quite lit, especially for a Monday Night Raw crowd.
Oh yeah.
And even when we got the first crowd back for I believe it was a SmackDown, at the very beginning of the show, Vince McMahon comes out and he gets at the top of the ramp and he grabs a mic and he goes, "Bro, where the hell you been?" We were looking for better wrestling. We're back. We don't know why.
It's like an abusive
So you get
relationship. Why do
this.
they always come back?
Because they couldn't
Right?
get into an AEW show.
And so you get this. You get this crowd, and then you
Touche.
do this to them, and I'm like, and it wouldn't matter who did it. If this was an AEW show, I'd say the same thing. So don't even come at me with the fanboy bullshit. Why the fuck would you do that?
Yeah, that's really.
Why the fuck would you welcome back a crowd, expect packed houses and everything else, and then do something like this? When you had a chance all along, you could have just stayed in the fucking Thunderdome.
Mhm.
Do you give a shit at all?
No, not at all.
Can you pretend to give a shit? So this goes back to that pipeline thing. For WWE to start a pipeline or have these things would mean they give a shit about anything outside of themselves.
Yeah.
And I'm looking for proof that they do. Because this ain't it.
Well, I think with that being said,
We didn't give any final thoughts on the show, though.
oh, you want a final thought on?
Oh, we can do
yeah.
a wrap up.
Give
I
your
gave a
final
grade.
thoughts.
And
Wendy,
I
what's
did
your
say
final thoughts for the
HBK
show?
Should do
and
final
Max was
thoughts.
my
Okay.
match.
All right, so my final thoughts. So I was, looking at it through a modern lens, there's a lot of blatantly problematic stuff and questionable things and trash can.
Oh,
Trash
my
can,
bad.
just a trash can there, right? But for a first episode, for as unpolished and blemished as it was, I actually enjoyed it. It being 45 minutes, technically an hour if you included commercials at that time, but 45 without and just running through it, it was so much more digestible, so much less painful. It was easier to take in. And it was a good balance. Like there was more, I felt like they put more matches in that 45-minute time frame than they
In the
do
3
now
hours?
in the 3 hours. Yeah. Overall, for what it was, I gave it a B. I thought it was a good show. I enjoyed it.
Wow.
Mhm.
Tom?
She actually, she actually came up with the same thing I did. I gave the show a B. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I feel like maybe Raw should go back to being like an hour or so long, because if you're going to be that bad and you're going to do things like this, you might as well just cut back. Match of the night was definitely HBK and Max Moon.
Absolutely.
Worst moment of the night was probably the doink in the crush segment. Again, I didn't even take any notes. I was like, oh, just get it over with.
In order,
But overall-
it was that trash can and the Woody Allen versus Mia Farrow
Woody
thing.
Allen versus
not
yes,
funny.
I didn't even
Not
bother.
funny.
They even said something about a reenactment of the Amy Fisher situation with
Not
and
funny.
yeah, okay, you're trying.
That
to be
was
funny
trash
at the
can. He was like,
time.
"Oh, with Vince as whatever
Yeah.
Buttafuoco." I'm like, "Shut up,
Yeah,
shut up,
it
trash
was
can."
it was a feeble attempt to be funny, but overall, I enjoyed the show a lot. I definitely gave it a B because of the moments that I brought up. But the matches were good, and honestly, I agree with Wendy where it felt like there was almost more wrestling in this show than there was in last week's episode
Yeah,
in 3 hours.
absolutely.
So, that's kind of what I wish they would go back to.
Agree.
If all the promos are going to be overly scripted and all the segments are going to be the same old crap, then you might as well just go
If
back
it's
to
gonna be missionary position for 3 hours every Monday,
missionary position every week for 3 fucking hours. I'm chafed. Okay, can we stop?
honestly, I'm drier
I'm
than
not
the
a
Sahara.
machine
I'm
here.
done.
I'm not a machine here, Raw. I'm Raw. Can we
Over
stop?
it.
I'm fucking
Over
over
it.
it. Okay, so that's my wrap up of Monday Night Raw, then and now.
I concur, Doctor.
I give it a B as well.
Wow,
He's all around. What?
You got to understand, people. We did not talk about this prior to the show.
No,
so
this is
for us
us
to come up
literally
with
talking about it for the
same
first time
grade-
together.
So, with
I mean,
that,
my first viewing, I sent some comments, but that was it.
yeah, with that being said, we've hit the end of the rundown. The night's coming to a close.
In the words of Reverend Slick, turn
Yes.
out the lights. The party's over.
For everyone,
I need to look this up. Oh
for
my god.
everyone that is
Look it
not
up, trust me.
watching us on YouTube, for everyone out in podcast land, come check us out on Facebook at Top Rope Wrestling Talk. We are a publicly traded group, as I love to say. Come in, invite you. We'll let you in. Talk all wrestling that you want. If you want to get our podcast content, you do get some of it on our group, but you'll get 99% of it, or actually all of it, on our Facebook page, which is also Top Rope Wrestling Talk. That I believe, Dom, you linked the two together.
I haven't linked the group, but the page is more of the group is like where we hang out, talk wrestling, do
You
whatever.
can link.
The page is all podcast related, and it gives you all our links to our social medias, our audio podcast, our YouTube, our merch. It's basically a one-stop shop for everything this podcast.
Yes. And then you can also find us on Twitter at Top Rope WT. Go on there, hit us up, shoot the shit, talk shit, meet a whole bunch of other wrestling podcasts that follow us and that we follow and we share with.
Like
Then-
some of the ones that showed up in the live chat.
Absolutely. Then you can also find us on Instagram at top_rope_wrestling_talk. God damn it, I'm good. Wendy.
As long as you're
Yes.
not naming Instagrams, yeah.
Wendy,
You,
give us where they can listen to us on podcast.
You can find us on anchor.fm/TRWT. From there, you can find us wherever podcasts are distributed. So you can find us on Stitcher, Spotify, Apple Podcasts. You can find us on iHeartRadio. You'll have to search us out, but you can find us there. And you can also find us on, oh my goodness, Dom, you mentioned it, wrestling. Was it wrestling?
TheWrestlingIndex.com.
Thank you. TheWrestlingIndex.com. You can find us there too. I'm going to write that down so I don't forget.
Yeah, it's amazing. Like thousands of other podcasts and our little podcast that could. I'm so happy that we got there. I'm also so happy to say that we are a member of the League of Extraordinary Podcasts with Clark Street and many, many others. That's always cool. And if you are listening to this on one of our many internationally acclaimed podcast platforms that Wendy just brought up, please come join us at TRWT (a Fox Den John). We have a lot of episodes on our YouTube channel that are exclusive to YouTube. So you will not have heard or seen any of them if you've just been listening to us on one of our many platforms audio wise. You can also find links to our merch page and our Facebook group and everything at the YouTube channel at the top of the page. So come subscribe, ring the bell, be ready for our next live stream like this so you can join the chat and you can say whatever you want to say in our chats like Mason has and other podcasts and other fans who just want to tag along and enjoy. And last but not least, of course, merch has been upgraded massively. Massively. We have come up with our own website. We have a few logos, including the exclusive TRWT3 logo with us that you can get in
Talk about bad audio editing.
Right? Thanks, Bruce.
Sorry.
What's going on in our production truck, Bruce?
But if you go to trwtmerch.threadless.com, you will see our new logo, a couple of our originals. You can get it on various different types of merch, from shirts to beach towels to notebooks to coffee mugs, magnets, stickers, you name it. But all you have to do is either click the link at the top of our YouTube channel or on our podcast page on Facebook. It'll bring you there. It'll show you what we have. It'll show you basically what we can offer you. And there will be Brucey's internet cut out, but there will actually be a sale on the website on my wedding anniversary starting August 8th.
What? Oh, that's so funny. You got married on 8/8?
Yep, 8808.
What? Shut the fuck up. That's a lucky.
That's what happens when you let a man. That's what happens when you let a man pick the date. I'm just saying.
To be fair, my anniversary is 7/13, so we had fun with that one.
I'm sure you did.
You know.
I'm just
but
saying.
also on all the podcast platforms, rate us, review us, leave comments, let us know what you think about us. Tell us how much you love us. Tell us how great we are. Tell us how beautiful and amazing and fantastic we are, etc., etc. And just give us all the stars. If you just go get your eyes checked, I'm a goblin. Goblin. Do it. And just give us all the stars. Tell everybody and share our podcast too. Yes. Share our podcast. My mom shares our podcast videos, for us.
Share whatever.
Yes.
Share whatever you're listening to. Share it on your own social
Share it with your mom. Share it with your coworker. Share it with your pastor. Share it with your weird homeless crackhead neighbor who probably has a cell phone. I don't know these things.
Everybody has a smartphone now.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely share us around. Help us grow. We've grown exponentially the last month or so. All of our social medias, the followings have jumped, our subscribers are jumping, but we could always use a few more. So definitely share these videos, share the audio podcast, man.
Keep it rolling,
and come to trwtmerch.threadless.com on August 8th to find out what the sale is going to be on, because they won't even tell me. So once I find out, I will pass it along to you.
It'll be a fun little surprise, y'all.
I just know there's a sale. That's all I know. And Brucey says he had a blast. He had a blast hosting. It was a great show. So there's that. I wanted to get that in on the recording before we go. But until next week, everybody, please stay safe out there. Wear your masks. Get your shots. Enjoy the weekend of wrestling, because there's going to be more, and just enjoy wrestling in general. If it's not your cup of tea, let somebody else drink it.
Yeah, plain and simple. Go enjoy something else. But until then, y'all, stay fresh, cheese bags.
There it is. Catch you next week, guys.
Bye.